Welcome back into our Blitzball Battle 4 postgame show. We just wrapped up Game 5. It was We Got Ice versus Hookline Sinkers. The game started off not a great one and ended up becoming a really good game there in the second inning. But we saw a very deflated Drew. He was really struggling with everything today. He was struggling at the plate. He was struggling on the mound. He did drive in 2 runs for Hookline Sinkers, but it was a big play from Zoe that ultimately was the difference in this game. It ended the rally for Hookline Sinkers and really just took whatever air they had left in the balloon all the way out of it. But We Got Ice. Nobody questioned if they would be able to win this game. We knew they would not go down 0-2. And they did not do that. They end up with a big win here. Let's get you up to the guys who called the game. Of course, that's Chris Rose and Peter Moylan.
We welcome you back inside the warehouse. Beautiful Jersey City, New Jersey. A little post-game show presented to you by DraftKings. We Got Ice, a 5-2 winner over Hookline Sinkers. It obviously started with Drew Davis and his struggles on the mound, giving up 4 in the first. But to me, the biggest play of the game was as Hookline was making a comeback, they cut it to 5-2. Zoe still had one more out to have to get on the mound unless he made a play in the field, and that's exactly what happened against Dan Canobbio.
Exactly what happened. It was actually a line drive hit straight back to him. He goes to one knee, makes a perfect play, no bobble, avoids having to go back on the mound to get his second out, and the game's basically over. But I have never seen Jack Doyle dice up the strike zone like he did today. I think he's back, and I think everybody else is taking notice, and they're in trouble. In fact, the 2-time Cy Young Award winner standing by with Kelsey Wingert.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. And, Jack, what they were just talking about is where I want to start this interview. You know, Zoe needed one more out in that final inning. You have Hookline Sinkers coming, mounting a comeback there, getting some momentum finally in this game. How big was it for him to be able to make that defensive play to allow you to stay on the mound?
That's huge. I think they really had some momentum brewing, as you said, to steal your exact sentence because I wasn't really listening. And I think we executed well.
So when you go back to that first inning, 3 up, 3 down, 3 Ks, Dan Canobbio walks past me, says that's the best he's ever seen you pitch. Peter Moylan up there just saying that you were slicing up the strike zone like he's never seen. Yeah. He announced you officially back. How good did you feel, especially after dropping Game 1 here?
That feels great. Game 1, I think I left way too many pitches in the glass, and I was throwing too many strikes, so I kind of throwed. I said throwed.
Throwed is fine.
I throwed balls that were balls and then came back to the strike. This might be the worst interview ever.
One more question just to keep it going. But you guys seem to have this intensity we don't see from y'all often. You're a fun group. Obviously, Zoe's always dishing out compliments. Very, very kind. Why were you guys so locked in, so intense today? No goofing and gabbing.
I think yesterday felt weird. We were kind of on the drive home yesterday. I was like, that wasn't right. That's not us. So we gotta get a win. And now, when we play with confidence, we play so much better. So first game of the playoffs now, we're gonna look great, and I'm gonna throw to some balls and win.
Is Jack Doyle back?
Was he ever gone?
Usually he's a little wild to start. He doesn't really rein it in until about the second inning, or it takes him a couple of batters, but he was on point. If he was off a little bit, he was just barely missing the zone, and he diced us up in that first inning, and it wasn't a great first inning. They got us, but I like the way we battled back. A little bit of adversity, and we got through it. And just the regular season. We're on to the playoffs. We're in the playoffs. We're still a very good team. It's just we got to get past We Got Ice.
I'm not that good at pitching. I don't know if anyone's realized that yet. Hopefully not. So not having to pitch another out was big. So we got happy for that rule. Very happy.
Yeah. That was a good play, too. Right in the kind of cup.
Yeah, whenever I make a nice play, I kind of just look like my limbs don't really belong to me.
If that's an error, it's like, oh.
Everyone's like, why does he move like that? It's like I was going to say an octopus that escaped water.
I'm just now realizing that rule. I'm not really great with rules. I just realized that Zoe feeling that ground ball allowed him not to, because I was wondering, I was like, Zoe only got one out. That was huge. Good point that you just brought up there, that it's now registering into my brain.
I think Drew was struggling to find the zone with his nasty stuff, and I was taking it all, and then he needed to throw a strike, and I would just hammer him. So I think just being patient kind of worked for us on that. A lot of walks.
They made some nice plays on you, too.
Yeah.
You had good hits.
I was just, trying to throw anything that might hit. I wasn't even trying to, hit corners. I was just, literally trying to throw it right down the middle of the plate.
That was rare. You're never going to see that again. That was Drew just having a tough go of it, but Drew pitches better when his arm is a little taxed. So tomorrow, watch out, everybody, because you're not going to see that again.
Jack's really good at bouncing back. Have a bad day, he'll come back and strike everybody out. So that's big. It might have been the best. You at Billy's might have been the best I've ever seen you.
Yeah, I think Drew and Dan's, they came in with an approach against me, and I think it did backfire.
I didn't love their approach.
Drew was standing really far away. I think he wanted the slider, and I didn't throw him a single slider.
You did have one at bat where you like actually sequenced the shit out of Drew.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh, that's pretty cool.
I hit a couple side pipes, which is just like, you're never trying to do that. It just kind of happens.
But what would a coach say? We could play better. Is that what we should say here? No?
I don't think so.
No? Okay.
What I didn't like was the disrespect from the bench, from the fans. Talking to Drew, getting a little too personal. Someone was playing taps on a damn trumpet while we were still alive. I don't like that at all. You know what taps is?
No clue.
It's a song for like to commemorate the dead.
I just don't like trumpets.
Oh, I requested taps.
I don't know. Usually, I'll go into a game thinking, all right, I'm not gonna go full bore, and then I get on the mat, everyone's going crazy, and I'm like just gunning it. Anything that Zoe can extend his hands on.
That was a slider.
Anything Zoe can extend his hands on, that's what he looks to do.
Yeah, that's why I want.
Busting him in.
So what do you think about this? Because this is like a two-seam like that
Bust
rises
him
in.
in. Yes, but aim it like towards his, get it this level.
Okay.
I'm gonna go up there. I'm gonna look to swing the first pitch, if it's where I want it.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't really know what Drew's gonna be looking like.
He's gonna be a little wild, but I think you're dialed in. So.
Trevor, the little guy? Right knee up. Trevor, this is the first time you ever knelt down first? Fucking coffee all over me. She's only a woman to me. Clean that coffee up. Next thing you know, I'm getting showered with coffee.
You stained Jack's shirt.
And yours probably.
Covered in coffee. Someone came in. It looks like he shit on himself.
I don't know how he does it, man. 74 like that would fucking kill me. It would kill me, I tell you. Hey, Drew. Let's have fun. Let's have fun. Let's win.
So you heard the post-game comments from both of them. Obviously, the big conversation was trumpets. Did Jack really request for taps be played? I don't know, but something else that I took from Dan is that he believes that Drew pitches better when that arm has a little fatigue in it. So they still have the confidence that they need going forward. Obviously, We Got Ice has the confidence. They have been so good here in this warehouse, but I do think that this game was really, really big for them, especially the way Jack Doyle pitched. You heard Peter Moylan say it. Jack Doyle is back, baby. But before we wrap up our post-game show from Game 5 here at the warehouse, we got to talk about our good friends and our sponsors in DraftKings. So DraftKings Sportsbook is here to help you get closer to the action. Whether you're a diehard basket fan, you're a hockey fanatic, or you're looking ahead to golf season, DraftKings has got you covered. So get some skin in the game and download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now and use our promo code WAREHOUSE. And if sports betting is not yet available in your state, I'm sorry. We hope that it's coming. Don't worry. You can still join in on all the fun with DraftKings Daily Fantasy and have a shot to win some great cash prizes. So download the DraftKings app now. Remember to use that promo code WAREHOUSE. That is promo code WAREHOUSE only at DraftKings Sportsbook. So the crown is yours. All righty. Game 6 is about to get underway here in BB4. So let's get you to Paxton to get you all set up for this great game.
Welcome into the pregame show for Game 6. We've got Woogas and Lovias, and this one is exciting because Woogas, in my opinion, they're the dark horse in this tournament. We saw them win their first game against the dominant We Got Ice, and Lovias is trying to get one win under their belt. I got to catch up with both teams, and I had some interesting conversations. Let's just say that.
Dalton, I want to start with you. I have a question. We saw you struggle on the mound, and you had it a few times, but then this is awkward. You had it a few times and then you lost it, whether it was speed or location, whatever it may be. What are some tweaks that you've made to go up against the Woogas to be able to command on the mound?
Well, I'm wearing this hoodie, as you can see, trying to make me a little bit heavier, and so hopefully that slows down my arm just a hair, so I'm under that 70-mile-per-hour speed limit. I do want to say I sent a text to Rose and Moylan after the game, and I'm like, guys, I'm sorry with how many times I dropped a curse word. I'm going to try and limit that. That's my goal for today. Throw strikes. No cursing.
We Got Ice, guys, saw your pitches pretty well. Now, you're going up against Lovias today. What have you tweaked and worked on to essentially kind of attack them more so with your approach?
Yeah, in game 1, it's no secret. We Got Ice guys are a good team. They touch me up. The Lovias guys, not going to be much easier. That's a good offense, too. I think I got to try to mix in more breaking stuff. In game 1, I tried a little bit and couldn't get a feel for it. But like in warm-ups, I felt good with my breaking stuff. So if I can get that down in game, I think it'll make me a much more effective pitcher moving on.
We saw a lot of great stuff from you on the mound. I mean, you're absolutely commanding that slider, even though you lost Moylan as your mentor, which is a sad thing. We're not going to get into that. When you were at the plate, we saw a lot of aggression, and we saw you chasing a lot of stuff.
Sorry, go ahead.
How are you going to be patient at the plate and be able to just offensively support your team?
I think it comes down to approach at the end of the day. I didn't have much of an approach against Com. I mean, that's on me. But going up against the Woogers, I'm going to be patient, cut the plate in half, like my old hitting coach used to say. I'm going to just get the pitch I want, and I'm going to hit the pitch.
You and Dalton are actually currently in a head-to-head matchup of how many curse words can you say to oneself. Who do you think's going to win that, you or Dalton, in this game?
Well, I think Dalton's going to win because I watched a YouTube video last night that has changed my perspective on how I should keep myself composed while I'm in competitive events. So I'm going to be on a much more zen vibe today and calm, cool, and collected. So I don't think you'll hear one F-bomb from me is my hot take.
Now let's start with Woogas. Knorp seems to have a lot of things up his sleeve when it comes to making tweaks on the mound. I know that We Got Ice saw them pretty well, and I think he's going to come out a little bit more patient, but also very aggressive. Now, when it comes to Nicky Cass, he had those pitches in the bag, but offensively, he really struggled at the plate, and he was just swinging for the fences every single time. He seemed to be a little bit late, but I feel like they're both going to make some adjustments. We're going to see the best version of them, in my opinion. And Dalton Feely, well, he has a very thick hoodie on that apparently is going to weigh him down and help him pitch. And Dan Rourke, well, he watched a Zen video last night on YouTube, and he seems to be in a better mindset. So I have no idea what any of those things mean, but you know who does? Jolly Olive. Let's start to Jolly Olive for the Olive Pit.
Game 6 of Blitzball Battle 4. It's the Woogas versus Lovias. We actually saw this matchup in floorball, but things are a little bit different in Blitzball, especially for Lovias this time around because they were 6-0 in their last 6 regular season Blitzball games, undefeated, and they lost yesterday, and they're desperate for a win today. Nicky Cass, he has to get going at the plate. He was one of just 2 batters in day 1 to not record a hit in their game. But on the other side, they have some favorable pitching matchups because Jimmy Knorp and Dan Rourke were both in the bottom 4 for pitcher ERA, both with an ERA of 10 in their game against We Got Ice, which was, of course, a 7-6 finish in their favor. They're going to try and mash their way out of it, but Jimmy Knorp, he's got to keep the ball in the ballpark on the mound. He allowed 4 home runs on the mound yesterday. All other teams combined to allow just 2 home runs, so he doubled that total all by himself. Let's see if Lovias can take advantage and get their offense finally going in what's been a really tough stretch for them at the plate. This is a very interesting matchup with a lot of stakes for the playoffs, and let's see what else the pregame show can tell us.
Hey, Sam.
Oh, Sam, what up, yo? Sam, Dan, and Dan.
Woogas are about to play Lovias. Sam, you are running around like a crazy person. Who do you want to win? We would never ask you your prediction.
I am rooting for the Woogas.
Yeah. Wow, is that because there's a Wooga behind you?
I really enjoyed watching Dan play so well yesterday, and I hope he keeps it up.
I love that. Here's John Cox. John Cox, our statistician. He tore his ACL. He's on the recovery.
Okay.
And who do you think's going to win? Woogas, Lovias. We're trying to get a vibe right when we walk in the door.
I want to say Lovias because I'm really good friends with Nicky and Dalton.
So you're saying you're not good friends with Dan Rourke? You hate Dan Rourke?
We're not as close. I like
John
him,
Cox hates Dan Rourke.
Didn't
Moving
say
on.
that.
Now we have Zoe here getting himself a water. He's hydrating. Woogas. They took you guys down yesterday.
Good team.
You rooting for them? Or you want them? Are they your mortal enemy?
I love Jimmy Knorp. He's like a brother to me.
He really is a nice guy.
Super nice.
I never really got to know him that well. Obviously, I wasn't part of those MLW videos, but getting to talk to him yesterday, great guy.
Dude. Also, Rourke winning is funny, and losing is kind of funny.
Rourke doing anything is kind of funny.
It is. I'm rooting for him.
This guy hates Dan Rourke.
I don't
John,
hate
stop
him.
saying you
I
hate him. I
never
did hear him
said
yell
that.
that upstairs.
I hate.
Not a chance.
He's a very nice Midwestern boy, John
Zoe's my
Cox.
biggest boy.
All right, here's a walkthrough. We are now walking through into the lounge, which was formerly the lounge. It's now a photo op area. And then we make ourselves through here.
Nice joggers.
Thank you. The Ronnie joggers. And then we're in the warehouse, moments away from a wonderful game between the Woogas and Lovias. Let's go.
Thank you very much, Peter Moylan. We've got Lovias taking on Woogas.
Wooga.
Woogas was a great unknown coming into this tournament because of Jimmy Knorp. We know that he's dominant in the world of wiffle ball. Blitzball is obviously a different sport. I would say it took him about an inning to figure this thing out.
Yeah, it was all about location. He was missing middle. He's heard it with Jack Doyle as well. You cannot hit the glass too often in this warehouse or you get punished. But for me, it was Dan Rourke. Dan Rourke came in and got the final outs. Dan Rourke was a weapon for this team yesterday, which was something that we haven't seen from him. The emotions were under control, which is something we have never seen from him ever. So it's a different team.
And with Jimmy Knorp, he certainly figured it out at the dish after an opening round strikeout in his first Blitzball at bat. As for Lovias, they didn't do any hitting in a 2-0 loss to McFlurry Power. We know that Nicky Cass can throw the ball. He's got to start hitting it again. 3 strikeouts in game 1.
3 strikeouts, and not even at pitches that were close. We're talking balls that bounced, balls that were all over the place. I had a conversation with him. He was amped up. Everybody was amped up yesterday. You've got to control that. But the worrying sign for me was it took him 10 chances to throw that breaking ball that he relies on so heavily to throw a strike. And by that time, it was almost over.
All right, so time to check in right now with Paxton Elrod. Prediction time. Kid, what do you got?
Man, this one's hard because I talked to both of these teams before this game, and they are just 2 dark horses, in my opinion. I think Lovias is the favorite in this, but I think I'm going to have to go Woogas just because, for one, Darren Rourke is on fire right now. And apparently, he told me that he watched a YouTube video last night that zenned him out. But the best thing that you need to watch for this game is who's going to say more curse words onto themselves, Dan Rourke or Dalton Feely. It's a fun game to play.
The curse count.
Yeah, I wouldn't be drinking every time you hear a curse word out of their mouths, or ours.
We should try it, actually.
No, probably not a great idea. Not if we want to continue in a sober state up here.
Fair enough.
All right, who do you have?
I've got Woogas. It's quite simple. Dan impressed me yesterday.
Yep.
Really did. And I think Jimmy's going to be locked in from the first pitch today.
And I think Jimmy has figured things out at the plate, man. I just think that he's going to be unbelievable hitting the ball. And I think that on the mound, he'll be just fine as well.
Yeah.
So make sure you tune in here for game number 6. Lovias and Woogas coming your way. We will see you in the stream. Thanks for tuning in here to the DraftKings pregame show.